Hey everyone, this is Ryan. Welcome to the channel. Today on the channel, I'm going to be doing upgrading DVDs to Blu-rays. And also I did throw in a few Blu-rays that I've gotten recently that technically aren't upgrades, but they're new into the collection and they're Blu-rays, so they go ahead and go well with the theme. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and comment below. What do you think about my pickups? Is there any here that you like? Is there any movie that you hated? Is there any movie that you've been wanting to watch? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get started. So first off, let's start off what I've got that I didn't have these movies previously into the collection. So this first one was actually a gift from Brando Critic. I'm part of his Patreon group. He sent me King Kong. I've never seen this movie before, so I'm very interested to check it out. And I'm glad I'm a part of his Patreon group, and I'm glad I won this. The next two pickups, now I got these both from Goodwill. I've seen both of them before, but I've never had them either in my collection before. So this first one is Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. I've seen this one time, I believe, but it's been a while. I don't have the first one. I need to get that one as well. And then I picked up Get 'Em to the Greek. Now, I always really like this movie, Jonah Hill. A few of these movies, I got a few slips, and I got this really cool lenticular. So the first movie I got is The Possession with a slip. This is one of the few that I got with slips. I also got Pompeii. This has Emily Browning as well in it. This movie's not amazing, but I've always really liked the whole aspect and everything like that. Fun movie. And then this movie right here, didn't expect this. A lenticular. Hell freaking yeah. Red Riding Hood. Look at that. That is freaking awesome. Like seriously. I did not expect to get this. Very cool that I got that. Love it. I don't think I have any lenticulars in the collection, so it's great to have this. And then I got this deal from Second and Charles. They had this deal that was going on from the 29th of December through January 1st, and I caught the last day of the deal. I didn't know this deal was going on, but it was buy 5 DVDs or 5 Blu-rays, and you get 5 for free. So I have 9 here I'm going to show you. The 10th one that I actually got, my son wanted a DVD for his collection at his house, so he got the Final Destination 5 movie collection for his house on DVD, just if you were curious to know what the 10th film was. So let's go ahead and break these down. All of these are upgrades from DVD to Blu-ray. The first one is Mama with Jessica Chastain. I have watched this recently. I still like it, and I think it holds up. The next movie I picked up, I watched the other night. That is Life as We Know It. I don't have a lot of Katherine Heigl films in the collection. I think this may be my only one, actually. This is a rom-com to a point, and it has a little bit of tragedy to it as well, so it has a little bit of different tones mixed in. I really did enjoy this when I watched it the other night. We have Couples Retreat. This one is really funny, and I really like this. This is definitely a fun movie for couples to watch, and if you're a struggling couple, I think this would be really funny to watch as well. I really enjoyed this movie. Vince Vaughn is in this, Jason Bateman. It's a great cast, and it's just overall really fun. The next movie that I picked up, I recently watched this movie, and while this movie isn't the best movie, I would say, I do like Mila Kunis, so we have Friends with Benefits. There are some cringy scenes in this movie. I'm not going to say this movie is the best, because it's not. I would say it's an okay movie, but I enjoy it for what it is. Now, this next movie is with Sacha Baron Cohen, and this movie is definitely borderline offensive these days, probably to a lot of different people, and this definitely couldn't be made today. That is Bruno. This movie is just absolutely crazy. Some funny things in here, and probably a lot of offensive things that people would not like today, like I was saying. And we have a next movie here where this movie isn't really a big movie. I've always really enjoyed this film. It has Emily Browning in it, and I've always liked her in these smaller movies. But this movie is called The Uninvited. I still like this movie. It still holds up. Very good movie. The next movie is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, especially within the modern 2010s, and that is Sinister. Ethan Hawke is in this movie, and it still holds up. And I watched this movie last year, and I still really, really do love it. I remember seeing this in theaters, and I was absolutely freaked out in the theater. And then we get into the Conjuring franchise, The Conjuring and Conjuring 2. I do not have the third one. I don't like that film, so I'm not going to have that one in the collection, but I have these two in a double pack. And then the last one that I picked up from Second & Charles with the deal, I got the first Annabelle. So now I have all this whole universe with Annabelle and Conjuring, and I'm good to go. I just don't have the third Conjuring. Like I said, I don't really like that one, so I don't need it in the collection. Now we're going to move into more upgrades from DVD to Blu-ray, and these were all pickups that I got on Amazon, some through like Christmas money with Amazon gift cards and such, and I got quite a bit of them. So we first have The Proposal. I recently watched this one and I'm really glad to have this one. Sandra Bullock is really good in this. I think that they are really good together. You have Ryan Reynolds. I was about to say Gosling there for a minute. Ryan Reynolds is in this one, and it's a fun movie. And overall, it's got Betty White as well on this, and it's a fun movie. The next movie I got is a found footage movie. And I don't know if this is really that well known in the horror community. I don't think it is as much, but I've always really, really liked this movie. And that is As Above, So Below. This one, I really like it in the found footage genre. I don't think it's the most scariest movie, but I definitely think just like being in the catacombs and just being below ground, that is scary enough. The claustrophobic like style of the film, I really do like it. Then next up, we have Bad Teacher. We have Cameron Diaz in this, Jason Segel, and Justin Timberlake as well. And this one is a fun one. I love that she is just a terrible teacher. She thinks about herself all the time, and just her whole motivation is trying to get a new pair of tits throughout this movie, and she's trying to impress Justin Timberlake. So definitely a fun movie. Next up, we have She's Out of My League. This one definitely has some funny moments. I definitely feel like this is something that you could relate to, like if you're like a nerdy kind of kid and you're trying to get that hot girl and you feel like you can't get that hot girl. And that's what this movie is definitely about. And just, you know, the whole like character development with Jay Birchall in this. And Alice Eve, I believe, is in this. Yeah, Alice Eve is in this. Fun movie. Love the comedy. Good time. And then next up, you'll know a little bit of a theme here. We have quite a bit of Adam Sandler movies. We first have Mr. Deeds. This one's great. He goes from a poor man to a rich man, and he still remains humble. Always love that. Then we have Forgetting Sarah Marshall. This one is a great film as well. Lots of comedy. Always a good time. Glad to have it. Then next up, we have Grown Ups. I love this first one. There's definitely some funny jokes in here. I don't like the second one that much, so I probably won't get the second one for my collection, but I'm glad to have the upgrade for this, and it's just, overall, it's funny. Then next up, we have a movie that I've seen a ton of times, and I feel like I've watched this many a times, like, you know, just having with my wife, or just in general, just watching it. It's a fun movie. Just go with it. Jennifer Aniston, she looks great in this movie. Adam Sandler, they just really flow well together, and it's a great movie. Next up is a movie that I can relate a lot to. This is Employee of the Month. I used to work at a grocery store. This is like at a big box grocery store, kind of like a Costco type deal. And, you know, they're working for this store and trying to be like the best employee and be the employee of the month. He's trying to get the girl. You have Dane Cook in here. I haven't seen him in a movie in a long time, and it's always been a favorite of mine. Love this movie. All right, and then we have a few more. We first have Rio 2. I haven't seen this in a while. I just recently watched the first one, so I'm not sure how I'll feel about this compared to the first one, but I definitely am interested to recheck it out. We have another Adam Sandler movie. We have Big Daddy. This one's great. Scuba Steve, classic. Just love it. The part where he pees on the building and just all the things that he does that, you know, he's not an actual father and then he has to father this kid. It's a great movie. Great movie. Next up is a movie that I would say that I don't love as much as I used to, but it is a prequel to the newest Minions movie. That is Minions. I haven't watched it in a long time. And next up is a slasher movie that I've always really, really liked. We have nobody really like notable in this movie, I don't think, that I can point out. You have Jamie Ching. Is that her name? I think Jamie Chug. Yeah, that's her name. Jamie Chug. She's in this movie. Chung. I don't know. It's something like that. Anyway, Sorority Row. Great movie. Cool slasher. Always love it. Definitely reminds me of like a I Know What You Did Last Summer kind of vibe type deal. And then a movie I haven't seen in a long time, but I think this is my introduction to Joaquin Phoenix. You have Mel Gibson in this. M. Night Shyamalan. Always really like this movie. That is Signs. Great movie. Love the whole alien premise and all like that. Definitely was a movie growing up that I watched over and over again, and I still love it to this day. We have three more. We have first Ride Along 2 with Ice Cube and Kevin Hart. I think this is where like the peak of like Kevin Hart really was. I like both these movies. I also got Ride Along as well. So I do really enjoy both of these movies. I don't think I like Kevin Hart as much as I used to, but I think he was like at the peak of his comedy at this point. And then the last movie, this is a movie I haven't watched in a while. I really do like this actress, but she really doesn't get any work or any movies that I've seen her in, and that is The Duff with Mae Whitman. Yeah, Bella Thorne. Normally I'm not a big fan of Bella Thorne, but she's okay in this movie. I feel like a lot of movies that Bella Thorne is in, it's usually not a good movie, but this one's funny, and I really liked how like Mae Whitman is like the geeky kind of girl here, and she is like the girl where people just don't really want to be with, and that's really like the whole premise of this movie. And I really enjoy like the high school setting and all that, and it's a fun movie and you've got to check it out, especially if you were like a nerd in high school. You'll definitely relate to this. So those are all my pickups that I've gotten for upgrading DVD to Blu-ray, and also a few little pickups sprinkled in there of movies that I didn't have in the collection, which was great. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about these pickups. What movies did you like? What movies do you not like? What movies do you want to see out of this pile? Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys on my next video.